Hello, good morning, children. Welcome back to the online classes. In the previous session, we were discussing the lesson. This is Jody's Fawn. Let us continue the remaining part. Finally, the boy Jody was succeeded in search of the little fawn. Let us see how he struggles to get it back to home. He stroked its sides as gently as though the fawn were a china deer and he might break it. Its skin was very soft, it was sleek and clean, and had a sweet scent of grass. He rose slowly and lifted the fawn from the ground. Its legs hung limply. They were surprisingly long, and he had to hoist the fawn as high as possible under his arms. He was afraid that it might kick and bleat at sight and smell of its mother. He skirted the clearing and pushed his way into the thicket. It was difficult to fight. It was difficult to fight through with his burden. The fawn's legs caught in the bushes, and he could not lift his own with freedom. He tried to shield its face from prickling vines. Its head bobbed with his stride. His heart thumped with the marvel of its acceptance of him. He reached the trail and walked as fast as he could until he came to the intersection with the road home. He stopped to rest and set the fawn down on its dangling legs. It wavered on them. It looked at him and bleated. Let us know the meaning of these two paragraphs. The boy, Jody, stroked its sides as gently as though the fawn were a china deer. Stroked means it is an action of expression of affection. China deer means a clay deer that is easily broken. A deer which is made up of clay that can be broken easily, very sophisticated, very sensitive. He stroked its sides gently. Gently means with great care. Stroking is action. You might have seen in your neighborhood that the farmers stroke the pet animals. It is expression of affection. He stroked its sides as gently as though the fawn were a china deer and he might break it. He treated with a great care as if it was very sensitive, like a china deer, a deer which is made up of ceramics, like cup or saucer, right? Its skin was very soft, it was sleek and clean. Its skin was very soft, smooth, and sleek. Sleek means smooth and shiny, like the surface of the car. Its skin was very soft and it was sleek and clean and had a sweet scent of grass. It had a fragrance of grass. He rose slowly and lifted the fawn from the ground. The boy woke up slowly and lifted the fawn from the ground. Its legs hung limply. Its legs were hanging like a lamb. They were surprisingly long, and he had to hoist the fawn as high as possible under his arms. The legs were very high, very tall. He had to hoist them. You can refer the picture. He is trying to hoist the fawn as possible as high. Next paragraph. He was afraid that it might kick and bleat at sight. When he was about to reach its mother body, when he was crossing beside its mother body at the time, he was afraid that it might kick and bleat at sight. It would kick and bleat means it is the sound of fawn. It would kick and bleat at the sight, smell of its mother. It would run around its mother body. He skirted the clearing and pushed his way in the thicket. Skirted means go around. He went around the clearing, open area, and pushed his way into the thicket. Thicket means a green vegetation. It was difficult to fight through with his burden. It was difficult for him to fight with the heavy burden, with the heavy weight of the little fawn. The fawn's legs caught in the bushes and he could not lift his own with freedom. He had held the fawn in his arms. The fawn's legs were caught in the bushes, in the thorny plants. He could not lift his own with freedom. That little fawn could not lift the legs on his own with freedom. He tried to shield its face from prickling vines. Instead of that, the fawn tried to shield means a broad piece of metal used for protection. Have a cover. It tried to add a cover to cover its face from the prickling vines. Its head bobbed with his stride. Its head bobbed with his stride. A long decisive steps. Bobbed means moving up and down. It was going up and down due to the long decisive steps. Stride means long decisive steps. His heart thumped with the marvel of its acceptance of him. His heart was thumped means it was held very tightly in his arms. He reached the trail and walked as fast as he could until he came to the intersection with the road home. The boy reached the trail. Trail means footpath or a narrow road. He reached the narrow road and walked as fast as he could. He walked fastly and reached the intersection of the road. Intersection means where the road can reach the way of his house. He stopped to rest and set the fawn down. When he came to the intersection of the road, he set the fawn down and made it to stand on its leg. He set the fawn down on its dangling legs. Dangling means wobbling legs, shaking legs. It wavered on them. It was shaking on them. The fawn was shaking on its wobbly legs. It looked at him and bleated. When he came to the intersection of the road, he made it to stand on its leg, and at that time the little fawn looked at him and bleated. Bleated means had its sound. This is the today's session. Read these two paragraphs. Let us continue this lesson in the second episode. In the next episode. Thank you. Have a nice day.